Hey guys, it's Nootsie, and today I wanted to share just a portion of an interview I did with my friend Jennifer Temple, and she is an Ayurvedic practitioner, and we talk all things ghee because ghee is really an important part of my overall health routine. So I want to share just this segment, and then if you haven't already watched it, please watch our entire interview. She's fascinating, delightful, and lovely, and I'm so thankful to call her friend. So let's get right into my interview portion on ghee with Jennifer Temple. For sure. Well, I want to
Uh,
talk a little bit about. I contacted you because I was I was wanting to do a video on ghee because it's really an important part of
yeah.
what I do to keep myself healthy. And I'm like, who do I know? And I was like,
Mm.
oh my God. So you were kind enough to come on. So I would love for from your perspective, because it's an Ayurvedic staple, correct? Would
It's
that,
the cornerstone oil of Ayurveda. Yeah.
okay. So I want you to talk about it from your perspective and just tell people how valuable it really is.
Okay. Oh, I could talk about ghee for hours, but I'll keep the, as you say, the Coles Notes version. So ghee is it's been traditionally used in Ayurveda for over 5,000 years. And the way it was traditionally made was, the cow is an animal. This is why Ayurveda has such respect for the cow, is because they're one of the few animals that has more milk than what the calf can actually drink. And so it's a sign that it's providing this nourishment for its human caretakers, right? And so this overflow of milk was turned into ghee.
That's
And
beautiful. I've never heard that. That's absolutely beautiful.
it
Really?
is. It really is. It's this gift the cow gives to humanity. Yeah, because it is so nourishing. And so the ghee was made in small batches. And everyone kind of, if you've ever heard of ghee, everyone will just say, oh, it's just clarified butter, right? You're just clarifying the milk solids out of the, so it's separate. You've got the liquid gold, which I call, and then the milk solids will either rise to the top or they'll sink to the bottom. So then when you strain it, you've taken all the, the lactose and the milk solids, everything's out, and you just have this pure liquid gold.
Hmm.
And it's so amazing. So I make my own ghee all the time. I have for years, and it's really easy to make. But the difference between ghee and clarified butter is it's cooked slower and longer, and it almost has this nutty smell to it. You know when it's done, when it smells almost like popcorn, is the way my daughters kind of describe when I'm making it. And I can tell just by looking, and I can tell by the sound of when it's done. So then I strain it, and oh, I should have brought my big jar. I've got this big jar of ghee that I always have. And when it starts to get low, I'm like, time to make some more, because I haven't really gone a day without ghee in years.
Wow.
So ghee is what is inside ghee, right? So not only is it very nourishing because it's heavy, it's oily, all these things that are counter, it really heals the system. A lot of us are really dry. A lot of people suffer from constipation, dry skin, dry hair. Anxiety is actually dryness as well in the brain and or in the mind. And it's this ghee is nourishing to our tissues. And so remind me if I forget to talk a little bit about why in Ayurveda we use ghee to cleanse.
Hmm.
It sounds funny using butter oil to cleanse. Most people think of cleansing as water fast or juice fast, but in Ayurveda, we take ghee in quite large amounts internally to detoxify the cells. So I want to make sure I don't forget a few points on that. But so one of the main ingredients in ghee is butyric acid. Yeah, butyric acid. There's some say butyric, butyric, but butyric acid is, and here's the coolest thing about butyric acid. So modern day science now, gastroenterologists, people who specialize in the gut microbiome, all of this, which is very, I would say, popular and necessary right now, is they're showing that fiber. We need way more fiber. Everyone's on a big protein kick. We need more protein. We need way more fiber. And so the reason why we need more fiber is the food for the microbiota. And what the microbiota does is they turn it into butyric acid. And butyric acid has been shown to decrease inflammation, to heal the gut lining, improve your digestion, improve your mental clarity, cognitive skills, all of this. And ghee is that.
Mm.
And so some people say that your microbiome produces its own ghee, but it's just another saying it's producing butyric acid. And so ghee is a really good way of internally taking the butyric acid. And so this butyric acid is the main food for your colon. This is what your colon needs for energy. And this is why in Ayurveda, people with constipation, the number one way that we treat it is with ghee. It lubricates all the channels to keep things moving along, to make it, in a nice way of saying it. So some of the things that I noticed right away when I started using ghee daily was my hair. My hair became so shiny. It started growing in way thicker than one of my symptoms I had was I lost about half of my hair within a year. And that was part of the hormonal imbalance, very common for hormonal imbalances to lose hair. And when I started taking ghee, I ended up with more hair than I did before I started losing it. And it felt shiny. And my skin, it used to be really dry and flaky. I had rosacea for a long time. And every time I touch my skin, it's like, oh, I love the feel of my skin. It's so soft. And so those are the things you notice right away. Yeah, right away.
And so, how would you recommend that people start using it? Like, what would you like if
Yeah.
somebody who is not using it at all? Where would they begin?
Yeah, good question. So I always start people, depending on the imbalance, but just for general way to start using ghee is you can stir a teaspoon into each meal.
Hmm.
So say you're having oatmeal in the morning, just stir a teaspoon into that. If you're having some rice and some lentils or something for lunch, stir a teaspoon into that. And for certain doshas, so if you know anything about the doshas, vata, pitta, and kapha, vatas are the really dry ones, the anxious ones, the more I call them the bean pole, right? And the kaphas are the more the rounder body frames. They have more oil in their body. So a kapha type is going to need way less ghee as a vata type. And so vatas, most of the imbalances have to do with dryness, arthritis, constipation, anxiety, dry skin, all of these things. And pittas as well. They're the fire. And ghee, even though it looks like an oil, it's actually very cooling to the digestive system. It's really nice. So that's a really good way to start. That's from a cooking perspective. You can take it to kind of a cosmetic or a beauty perspective. And ghee, if you have bloodshot eyes, putting a drop of ghee or just making sure you have a clean finger and rubbing ghee inside on your eyeballs really helps with red eyes. Another Ayurvedic practice, which is part of our dinacharya, which is the morning routine, the self-care things we do every morning, which I love, which I do all that after my meditation, is a practice called Nasya. And it sounds funny, but Nasya is using oil to internally massage the inside of your nostrils. And so the reason is a lot of people who have excess mucus, postnasal drip, that's the body's way of overcompensating dryness. And so if you're dry, the body will go, oh, we need way more mucus to soothe it. But what happens is it completely overshoots it. And now you're getting the postnasal drip. And so if you put oil in your nose, and you can use ghee, it sounds strange. You put ghee. So what I do is I'll put a little bit of ghee or I'll use sesame oil, not the Asian toasted one, just the unrefined sesame oil, clean finger, and you rub it in your palm and you massage it as far up as you comfortably can. And you go, you sniff on that side, you do it the other side. And I do that 2 or 3 times each side. It prevents, I had postnasal drip for years. I went to ears, nose, and throat specialists, and they just said, there's nothing we can do. But when I started oiling my nose with ghee or sesame oil, my body stopped producing that excess mucus. And
Fascinating.
it is fascinating. And some people, some Ayurvedic people, um, will just use it as cream. Literally, they use it as cream or a massage oil.
Hmm.
And I don't personally, because I don't like the smell of ghee all over my body. But I have tried it, and I can vouch that it really does make your skin feel really nice. You actually don't feel that greasy. It's just, I don't want to smell like ghee. Yeah.
So, if someone wanted to do like a cleanse using ghee just to kind of get their body hydrated, what would you recommend they do?
Yeah, and so that's a good we do cleanse with ghee, and you would have to be under supervision to do a full ghee cleanse. And just maybe for a little shock value, I'll just explain that you start off your morning on an empty stomach drinking increasing amounts of ghee. So you'll increase from anywhere between 1 tablespoon to half a cup of ghee on an empty stomach. And um, it's an experience. And so what happens is all of that ghee, you become literally saturated inside of you. Your cells become saturated with ghee. And a lot of emotional toxins and a lot of environmental toxins are fat soluble. So to get fat soluble toxins out, you need fat. You can't just get them
Oh,
out with water. And another thing of all that ghee, it causes your gallbladder to contract all the old bile. And so now you've got fresh liver, fresh gallbladder. It sounds counterproductive to use ghee to detoxify your body, but there's enough science now to show that it's and it's feeding all your intestinal lining with that butyric acid. So, but a good place to start
mm-hmm.
would be, with my clients, what I do is I don't take them through the 7-day cleanse unless I'm working one-on-one with them. We just do a short 3-day cleanse where we're eating khichdi for 3 days straight. And khichdi is just that traditional, yeah, like, what is that? Khichdi is a traditional cleansing dish of Ayurveda. It's an equal combination of white basmati rice and yellow split mung beans with certain spices like cumin and coriander and turmeric, and you just make it kind of like a porridge. It's delicious. I eat it all the time, and it's really easy to digest, and that's why it's used for cleansing. And you can start by putting increasing amounts of ghee. So I would start with a teaspoon on the first day in each meal. Then you could increase to 2 teaspoons. And then by the third day, you would have a tablespoon in each meal. And that's going to be suitable for any of the doshas. Beyond that, then you would really need to be working with a practitioner to make sure you're doing it right.
Wow, it's exciting. Well, you must come back and tell us some more. I would love to know about the morning routine, just to give people some tips because I
Yeah.
don't even think it's possible, but you really are just absolutely more glowing and more beautiful than when I first met you. And that's one
Mm.
thing I noticed about your hair when we first met. It was so shiny and thick. I always wanted to kind of touch it.
There you go.
But you are a living example of what the lifestyle of Ayurveda does for people, for sure.
Aw, thank you, Nootsie. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I appreciate the compliments, and I feel amazing. I really do. It's that connection with source energy, but all the things I do for myself, for an Ayurvedic lifestyle, it works. It works.
Tell people a little bit about some of your offerings. I was looking at your website and it really is beautiful, by the way.
I love my website. A little shout out to Ben who does my website for me. I just say, "Hey Ben, I'd love to have this," and it's like, there it is. I'm like,
Oh,
wow,
thanks.
that's exactly what I wanted. Yeah, so in the past, I worked with individuals just here in my office where I'm sitting right now, but COVID really changed that. And I took that opportunity to, I really wanted to reach more women. And I knew my passion was helping women move through menopausal symptoms. So I have a 6 month program now where I work with women. We do an individual kind of analysis of what's going on based on their tongue. The tongue says so much from a diagnostic perspective in Ayurveda. So I do an analysis on someone, the tongue, their intake form, their eyes. And then I set them down the path of foods that are going to balance their body for the 6 months and foods to avoid. It's very different for each person. And then everyone enters the same online program, and you go through that for 6 months. And I love the program. It's truly my experience of Ayurveda. It's food, it's health, it's fun. I'm big on dancing, and so there's lots of there's it's a fun program that we do. But my favorite part about the program is every week while you're going through the program, you get to meet with me on a group support call every week for an hour and a half. And I never wanted it to be a program where, all right, here you go, Nootsie, have fun with that. See ya, I hope it works out. Because as human nature, as we know, we really do need support when we are trying to become someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the type of women I'm looking to work with, are women who are ready to become someone else, their best selves, their highest selves. So I love being able to connect now with women from all over the States and Canada. And we meet in these groups, and to see the changes are nothing short of amazing, whether it's weight loss or hot flashes or fibroids, whatever it is, whatever your thing you're going through in menopause. Ayurveda truly believes that your body can get back to that original blueprint of perfect health. We just need to give it the right environment to do that.
So if people go on your website and just connect with you, can they have just like some time with you, like a one-on-one time?
Yeah. So what I suggest, if this kind of piqued your interest about Ayurveda, go onto my website, purelyayurveda.ca. It's a long word, and on there you'll see, learn more about the 6 month program, or you can watch the master class. And at the end of the master class, or on the page where, it's talking about the program, you'll see just a button. It just says book a free discovery call. And anyone can book a call with me, and they're an hour. And it's really just to see if Ayurveda would work for you. And I had a call this morning, and just from a woman from San Diego. It's like, wow, I get to talk with someone from San Diego. And
Mm-hmm.
so anyone can book a free call with me. It's just me. You're not sent off to talk to someone else, because I actually really like the calls. Yeah.
Great. Well, I'll list everything below and
Okay.
put the link so people can get a hold of you. But thank you so much. I just it's like going home, like getting to talk with you.
I feel the same, Nootsie. When you emailed me, I was like, oh, Nootsie, I get to see her. And
Yeah.
I know we'll see each other again at an
Yeah.
event or anything.
Yeah.
But it was so nice talking with you. And I'm so happy, just the changes that have happened for you
Yeah.
too. And
They're
just
amazing.
these interviews, I just know they're helping so many people understand really what this is all about.
Thank you so much. So maybe we can do it again, but thank you. Till next
Yeah,
time. Okay,
sounds
bye.
good. Bye, Nootsie.